Hi everyone, in this tutorial we are discussing what Next.js middleware is, when you want to use it and when it's useful, and at the end we will see how to create one.
Go with Sloba.
Okay, first of all, let's just answer the question what Next.js middleware is in the first place. So Next.js middleware is just a function that gets executed before your route gets completed. So let's say that you're on a home page and you want to navigate to a to-do list page. Before your to-do list page gets rendered, this function gets executed. And that's it. That's all it is. So, but now you might ask when you want to perform this and why this is useful. So first of all, when you're performing authorization and authentication. So let's say that you have a roles and that specific role or user have access to a certain pages. So you can check if the user role has access to a specific page. If it doesn't, you can just redirect him back to maybe a home page or the page where he was previously. The next case when this might be useful is with the bot detection. So if a bot is trying to access your page, you can just reject the request and redirect them or actually deny the access to your application. The next use case could be implementing the logs and analytics before the actual API starts to get called on your page. Another useful option could be a feature flagging. So let's say that you want to introduce a new page or a new feature inside of your application. Using this middleware and using the flag, you can actually show this to the user or not. And now when you understand what Next.js middleware is and when you want to use it, let's see how we can create one. In order to create a middleware inside of the Next.js application, this is very straightforward. You just need to create a file inside of the root directory. So let's create a new file and the name needs to be middleware.js. So this is the naming convention that you need to follow. Inside of this file, we need to create a function with the same name. So let's export function and the name needs to be middleware as well. Inside of this function, we also have access to the request, similar as route handlers like this. And now we can just console log here to see what happens and when this happens. So as we discussed in the introduction of this tutorial, this function gets executed before route changes. So let me go and start our server. So let's head over to our application and navigate through a couple of pages. So if you go to our Next.js course and let's say that we go to the bar page or to-do list page, and hopefully if we get to our terminal. But now as you can see, whenever we navigate to any of the routes in our application, our middleware function gets executed. But let's say that you want to execute this function only when you navigate to a specific route inside of your application. So the only thing that we need to do is we need to create a configuration file. So let's create a const of config and we need to export this object. And this is just going to be an object with a matcher property. So this is just a property that says when you navigate to this route, execute our middleware function. In our case, we can say if we navigate to our to-do list page, execute our function. And just to be able to test this, because previously we have logs with hello, let's just say hello from to-do-list like this. And now let's save this and let's first try to navigate to some other pages. So if we go to our application, let's refresh this counter page. Let's go to our bar page and let's go to our Prisma page here as well. And now if we go to our application, and now if we check our terminal, we can see that we don't have any logs after this hello. But now if we go to our to-do list page, let's navigate to our to-do list page, and let's go to our terminal once again, we can see that we get this hello from to-do list. And there you go. So this is what this configuration that we have set up does for you. Another thing that you can add is responses, similar to what you do in the route handlers. So let's go to our middleware function here and let's remove this log. So let's say that we want to return a response and we want to execute the JSON. And here inside of the JSON function, we want to return an object. And inside of this object, we can say a message, hello there. And we can execute this when we go to, let's say, users route. And now let's save this and let's open up our application and let's navigate to the users route here. So if you go to the, just zoom in. So if you go to the users and navigate to this page, we can see that actually we get this hello there message. This is essentially a GET response. Nice. So let's see what else we can do with our middleware. Another thing that I mentioned is that you can perform redirects depending on the user role. So let's say you want to restrict the access. So what we can do here is let's remove this response.json and here let's return next response. And here essentially we want to redirect the user. So let's say that this user doesn't have access to this page. We can just call the redirect function. And inside of this function, we want to create new URL. So new URL, and we want to redirect him to a home page. So as a second argument, we need to send a request.url like this. And now we can update the route when we are redirecting the user to a home page. And let's say when we navigate to a to-do list page, then we want to redirect them back to a home page. So let's save this and let's head over to our application once again. And now let me get back to a to-do list page and let's try to navigate to a to-do list page. But as you can see, we are not able to go to that page because we are immediately getting redirected to a home page. Just so I can show you that our app is not being frozen, let's navigate to a Prisma or bar or counter, and as you can see, we are able to navigate to these pages. But if you try to go to a to-do list page, you get redirected to a home page. So this is essentially how you can redirect the users. And the last thing which I wanted to show you is how you can provide match with the multiple URLs or paths. So you just need to provide an array here. And here you can just add a comma and add whatever route you want to target afterwards. So let's say we want to target Prisma or whatever route you want. So this is how you can match multiple routes. And essentially, this is all what I wanted to show you for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and that you have learned something new. I see you guys in the next tutorial. And if you want to support my channel and get a full source code of every single video that I'm doing, feel free to check out patreon.com/codewithsloba to get full access. See you there.
Code with Sloba.
Thank you for watching the entire video. To see more videos like this, click here.